question in regards to like the people that do come to you or your clients. How many of them are just not educated in regards to sex? Where it's like, you know, a lot of people didn't have that talk. I didn't have that talk as, you know, as a master. So I had to learn as I went. So I guess it's like, is that something you experience where a lot of your clients are just not educated when it comes to sex?
Yeah, absolutely. So I should have brought my vulva puppets, but I have anatomically correct genital models. And sometimes specifically for people with vulvas who have not orgasmed. So first we help them to come up with a definition of what that is, because sometimes people will confuse or conflate orgasming and squirting. And it's like those are two different things. So like we talk about that. We also talk about how, going back to the idea of getting your sex education from porn, not everybody's going to squirt across the room. That's just not going to happen. You know, your body may not do that, but what your body can do is wonderful. So let's celebrate what your body can do. And then also talking about how statistically, most people with vulvas need some type of direct clitoral stimulation in order to achieve orgasm. So if I have a client that comes in and they're saying, well, I'm not able to have an orgasm, is anything wrong with me? So we'll talk, well, what is sex to you? What's happening? What's going on? And if they're only having penis and vagina penetration, then let's talk about how you may need some clitoral stimulation or some other type of stimulation in order for you to have an orgasm. So yeah, I get it a lot.
And I guess how often should people have sex or masturbate?
However often feels good for them. There's like
well,
not a
Well, I'm sorry. Would that like overstimulate you if you do it too much? And say that.
Yeah, not necessarily. So I have a few thoughts, right? So how we were talking about. You were talking about the idea of sex addiction, and I introduced the idea of out of control sexual behavior. So if whether that's solo or partnered sex, if that is getting in the way of you doing like your normal, regular duties that you're supposed to do, like you can't go to work, you can't go to this meeting unless you let one off, then we're talking about out of control sexual behavior. But if it's just, I am aroused, I'm gonna knock this off and I'm gonna go about my day, do your thug thizzle. Now, the overstimulation part, not necessarily, but what happens is that if you are used to orgasming, laying in this particular position with this particular stimulation, your brain kind of gets wired to that. So then it may be a challenge to orgasm in other situations. So let's say someone with a vulva masturbates with one particular type of toy on one particular setting, holding it one particular way, and then they can't orgasm with a partner. So let's switch up our masturbation practices because your brain is just used to orgasm in that way. It's not used to orgasm in different ways. Doesn't mean that you're desensitized or anything, but your brain is just wired that way. You just got to switch it up.
Like you said, all that stuff is important, like I guess the build up, the foreplay, even like with the Kama Sutra.
Yeah, so I don't really use the term foreplay anymore because it's all play, right? And I think that a lot of times we put intercourse on a pedestal, like everything happens before intercourse, but it's a whole bunch of people who have wonderful sex who don't have intercourse, right? So all of it is play and all of it can be part of an enjoyable sexual experience. But yeah, it's all important. The Kama Sutra, it's got some, different ideas for different positions and whatnot. You got to stretch first, but make sure you hydrate, But yeah, all of that can be helpful.